Skeleton Creek Ghost in the Machine by Patrick Harmon. Patrick Harmon is born February 27, 1966 in Salem, Oregon, and is an American writer who has graduated from Willamette University. He is a multimedia pioneer who uses technology, videos, and games to bring wired kids back to books. Millions of young readers have read, watched, and played books Harmon has produced, including The 39 Clues, Dark Eden, Trackers, and Skeleton Creek. The setting takes place in present-day town of Skeleton Creek, Oregon, which is right here. Most of the events happen in the Gold Dredge, which is a very important place inside the story, because that's where the characters most have their action and their conflicts resolved also. So, the Gold Dredge is an abandoned place where gold was produced by the lake and then was stored into the factory that was here, so that it could be then sold to markets and black markets for different sorts of reasons. It's also haunted by ghost Joe Bush, who was a worker and died there. He was also a member of the antagonist, the Crossbones. The town's library and the main character Ryan's house is also some places that the characters go to, but it's not very emphasized as an important place in the story. The characters have to face many of their obstacles inside the dredge. When they're researching to find out about the Crossbones and what they're after, they're also researching of why they're killing their members off one by one mysteriously for no reason. The protagonist is Ryan McCrae. The book is basically Ryan's journal. Every feeling and moment that has happened has been taken down into this journal. The book is also filled with passwords that link you to the website you can look up that lead toward video files Sarah encounters and her documentations. Passwords can be found on these pages. Sarah Fincher is very similar to Ryan but is 1 year older. She's a great detective but has a very large passion for documenting and researching. Most of the time she's out doing the most dangerous works and researching because Ryan is disadvantaged from his broken leg that he received from the ghost Joe Bush. She sends videos to Ryan secretly by email to give him the newest information that she has discovered, basically aka the passwords. The antagonists, the Crossbones, are a group of alchemists who are trying to figure out this sort of cryptic message of symbols that Joe Bush had left them when he had died. They know that it leads to something that he has discovered, that he was always interested in, that link to gold, but they don't know where it was and how to figure it out. They are also trying to stop Ryan and Sarah from finding out more about their secret organization and what they do to people who know too much about them. A minor character is the Apostle, who is also a member of the Crossbones. He's not as holy as he sounds. He's killed people, stolen, and has ruined many people's lives, and he's not completely right in the head, meaning that he's a bit psychotic. Weird, creepy, scary, and mysterious are all words you can use to describe him. The Apostle's job in the Crossbones is to document everything, sort of like what Sarah does for Ryan. He usually does the documentations of what they have learned and what they do during their meetings that sort of last from midnight till 3 a.m. in the library's basement. The plot. The book centers around the main character Ryan, a 16-year-old boy who has thought he's been seeing things like ghosts. The book's beginning was very odd. It starts Sunday, September 19th, after midnight. It's written in the style of a journal with handwriting text, and an entry contains the date and time every chapter. The story starts with some cryptic message and writings about Ryan saying, "I can't go down there again," and remove this cryptics and suffer the consequences. Probably left by a ghost, and he suspects that it is one, like right here, which says, "Don't make me come looking for you," because he's trying to warn them even more. The story starts with those creepy entries, and they're very unquestionably eerie. This tells me that he has been seeing a ghost. After the crypt scene in one of the first videos, he writes another entry at 7:20 a.m. the same day. It turns out that the whole incident caused him to shatter his leg the same day. And that caused the parents to sort of separate Sarah and Ryan from meeting each other ever again because they thought that she was trouble and that they should never hang out again. So they weren't allowed to speak or see each other. she's just as bad as curious as he is about the Crossbones and the Golden Dredge and Joe Bush. So they try not to get their parents informed about what they're doing, otherwise they may not be able to see each other ever again. She does most of the undercover work and the investigations that are more dangerous and more mobile, since he can't do that since he's disadvantaged by his broken leg. The conflict is that their parents are starting to realize that Sarah and Ryan are communicating in some ways, but they don't know how. The conflict is external because it's going to affect Ryan and Sarah's relationship as friends and their research about the Golden Dredge and the Crossbones. The rising action is when Sarah and Ryan are caught hanging out together in the cafe by the sheriff, and when they're caught by the ghost of Joe Bush and the Dredge while they're investigating. The climax is when Ryan and Sarah went back to the Dredge to search for clues one night, the night before that it was going to be burnt and turned into ashes by the Crossbones. They go there and they find their secret room again, and Sarah tries to unlock the puzzles to the box that has the treasures that Joe Bush has left behind. But while she's doing that, Ryan locks her in and starts to fight off the ghost of Joe Bush since he knows that he was there. At the same time, the sheriff, Daryl Bowner, and the father, comes out in nowhere and it attacks back the ghost and saves him. He opens up the mask that he had on, because it wasn't actually a ghost, it was somebody who was wearing a costume to watch and scare Sarah and Ryan. When they took off the mask, it was Henry, which is Ryan's friend, but he's not a very important character up until this point because he's not very emphasized. The following action. After Ryan opens the door for Sarah, she tells Ryan that she discovered a key and a small opening under a little lip of wood. And so she unlocks it, but his father didn't know about this place, and he was part of the Crossbones. So whenever he found out that his son was still communicating and that, yes, they had been finding out more than they were, he got a little bit skeptical. So when they unlock the box containing Joe Bush's secret treasure / alchemy discovery, they uncover a long and heavy rectangular wooden plank. On the inside, there was gold, and it was sort of like gold bars, but they were very thin so that enough would fit so that there were multiple bars of it. Ryan and Sarah's parents get 5% of the gold they have dug up, and they were able to put this mystery behind themselves and actually start talking together again, because they proved to their parents that they could solve this mystery and that they could actually defeat whatever was going on. In the conclusion, I loved the book and how the writer wrote it. When I started to read the book, I was hooked onto the storyline. It was very interactive, and you could relate to the character and feel as if you were a part of his research when he would follow passwords that would go to the documentaries Sarah would leave behind. A fun fact about this book is that it's the first sort of book series that go to different kinds of videos and link kids to them so that they can interact with them and have more interest in the books, along with the 39 Clues and Other Books by Patrick Carman. It grabs the interest of this generation and encourages them to read and follow the journey that Sarah and Ryan go through. Some of the video links are here, but there's at least 10 videos. In each book, they have videos for them that are linked, and not every chapter, but just a few pages. Thank you.